Hey, this is Juan Root from the Wilderness Systems Fishing Team, and I'm here to tell you about a new bag that we've just designed at Wilderness Systems. It's an awesome bag. I love it. I was involved in the design of this particular bag. It's actually waterproof. It's got made of waterproof fabric, but it's not a watertight bag, so it's not a bag that you would put on your boat and you know, it's made of waterproof material, but it's not watertight. For example, this top zipper is not waterproof, so it's not something you throw on your boat and then expect your gear to be dry in it while you're out on the water. This is more for carrying your gear to and from the water. If you want to really have something on the water that's going to keep your gear dry, we've got dry bags like this, and my favorite dry bag that fits in the hull of the attack, the front storage area of the attack, is this bag right here. And those are on the Wilderness Systems website. You can go and check those out. But at any rate, this is the new bag that we come up with. Basically, it's a duffel that will keep your gear, from getting water all over the place. Here are some of the features of the bag. One, I like this. It's just a standard carry handle. It's really strong. It's designed in a way that doesn't bunch up the bag, so I like it a lot. It's also got a shoulder strap. The cool thing that we did with the shoulder strap is we narrowed it down so it's closer, not on either end of the duffel. So when you're carrying a heavy load like I got in here, and I'll show you what's in this bag in a minute, I can just shoulder this really nicely, and it kind of pinches on my shoulder. It stays on my shoulder even though I'm carrying a heavy load because it's not very wide. So that makes it nice. The other thing that I like about this bag that we put on here are these side handles. Basically, these side handles are nice. You can just grab a hold of this bag. Any way that this bag is laying around, you have a way to grab the bag and carry the bag. I did this because, I suggested this because when I was pulling it out of my vehicle, like the back of my SUV, or if you have your duffel in your truck and you're reaching into the bed of your truck and trying to pull it out, it's hard to get a hold of these bags sometimes. And so just having this handle right here to grab, it's very sturdy, works out really well. The other thing that you can do too with this bag is you can compress it down. These are compression straps on either side of the bag. So you can see here, compression straps, and it even has a little keeper here so that you can bunch up or fold up the excess, and it's not going to be in your way and dragging around. So you can, when you have a little bit of gear in here or it's not quite full, you can cinch it all down, tighten it up so it doesn't use as much volume in the back of your SUV, in the back of your car or your trunk, or in the back of your truck, to where you're using up a lot of volume for no reason at all. I like that a lot because it just cinches it down and it makes everything kind of compact inside your bag. One of the key features of this bag, because it's made of waterproof material, is that we did put one waterproof zipper, and it's in the bottom. There's a bottom bin here. You can see it's about 3 inches deep. This is for carrying wet gear. When you're out on the water and you're fishing, a lot of times, you're in mucky water. It doesn't smell the best sometimes. You're wading through mud, you got muddy gear, and you're not sure where to put it when you come back to your vehicle. Well, this bag right here solves that problem for you. Basically, there's a bin in here that's got a waterproof zipper. It's like I said, about 2.5 to 3 inches deep. And look what's in here. I'll pull that out right now. I've got my boots in here right now for my dry suit. And let's say I'm on the water and I got a bunch of gear wet, my shirt, whatever it is, I can put this gear in here and then I can just zip that up and it's not going to leak all over my vehicle. That is the only part of the bag that's actually watertight. The zipper on the top is basically a normal zipper so water can get through there, but this is for more of your dry gear here. So it really helps to separate your dry gear and your wet gear at the end of the day. And I know for me that was a feature that I really wanted to see in a bag that I rarely have seen out there on the market. So I was really happy when we were able to incorporate this. I just think it's a great idea. The other cool thing that we did, getting into some detail here, but it's good to know, you see that false bottom. You see how I took my boots out of there? And you kind of see that movable bottom there has now moved down into that bin. That means that now I can still use that storage of that bin. It's not a solid separator between the wet and the dry side. It's actually flexible, so it'll go up and down, up and down. And again, it's made of waterproof material, so that's great. It keeps everything on top dry, so I can still use that volume. That was another thing that we looked at with a lot of bags, because once you build a dry compartment, you can't use that area for anything else. This one, when I put wet gear down there, it only uses the volume it needs to store that wet gear. The rest of that volume within that bag is good for dry gear. So let's take a look at what I got in this bag besides my boots. So, oh yeah, one other feature. Come a little bit closer. One other feature, we got some storage for small items. On the side, we got zipper, kind of webbing here. And so I've got my gloves in there so they don't get lost. I got a headlamp in there. And then on the other side, we have a bigger pocket. And I actually have a action cam in there. Nothing else. I just kind of threw it in there for an example. So you can see that it carries a lot of different stuff that you're going to need on the water. So let's take a look and see what I fit into this this duffel bag. A dry suit, rod holders to put on my boat. I got my PFD in here, so basically almost everything I need for a day on the water. I've got a throw rope in here for safety. Got my torpedo throttles in there. Forgot about that. Got a fish gripper in here with a little retractor. Got my Wildy battery to recharge my electronics. And so inside it's got a lot of volume. And if you look in there, you can actually see that false, kind of that movable bottom in there that's flexible. It'll move down into that bottom tray. So I've got a lot of volume. I think this is a 60 liter. The other thing that we did with this bag that I didn't mention earlier, I think is really important. You know, I've used a lot of kayaking duffels to carry my gear. And what this bag does, because it's made of waterproof materials, it makes cleanup really easy. That was one of the things that I mentioned to the team that was designing the duffel. It's kind of like, okay, you know, I've got these duffels I carry my kayaking gear in, and fishing is a little bit different than whitewater. You know, you're out there, you're in the mud, you know, you're in lakes, you've got swampy water, you know, you're getting to those nooks and crannies of places. So sometimes you're going to bring a lot of stinky stuff. It's going to get in the bag, right? So with this thing, you could literally take it and empty it out, and then just hose it out, shake the water off of it, and probably just kind of let it, you know, air dry, leave everything open and air dry. If it gets really muddy and sandy or whatever inside, and you're right back to where you're at. You know, you don't have to take a duffel, you know, it's got a bunch of sand in it, try to figure out how to clear it out, put it in the washer, all those things. You just hose this sucker out, and then you're right back to using it again. So it's really kind of a low maintenance kind of thing with the material that's made out of this waterproof material. So I think that's the awesome part of this. So that's basically the Wilderness Systems duffel. Like I said, this is the bigger one. You know, I'll correct it and put a little thing down here. I think this one is, you know, by my estimation, I think it's like 60 liters. And it's just a great way to haul your gear to and from the water and keep your dry stuff separate from your wet stuff at the end of the day, and keep your vehicle smelling nice.